Hey everybody, welcome to Trading Capital's daily live stream of the market open. Today is currently the first quarter and the second quarter, first day of the second quarter and the new week. And as we kick things off here, obviously we had a big energy announcement, oil gapping up tremendously in the overnight on the back of OPEC cutting productions. Now, short term that's a positive for oil stocks, but long term that is a macro-driven economic proactive move by the Saudis to basically cut the supply of oil because they're obviously forecasting a recession. So we're at a key inflection point. I am looking to fade some of these oil stock moves. Anything above 114 on Exxon gets me interested. I'm also looking at RIG, which is up substantially. Let me just remove some of these. Basically for RIG, I would be enticed at around a pierce of 740, preferably at the wick high of this level here. And obviously, Tesla's gapping lower. There might be a long trade. Let me just erase some of this. In terms of a long trade on Tesla, if the markets really start to crumble and fall apart, we could play Tesla for a long, pretty much at this 50 daily moving average. Okay, you can see it would be at the bottom of this wide range green bar breakout. So that's kind of what I'm expecting on Tesla. Tesla's trying to obviously break out over the yesterday, Friday, but it has not been able to do so. So definitely pay attention to Tesla because it was one of those market leaders. But tech is under pressure this morning. So we'll see if that can see some more downside. The VIX is up. But realistically, it's just energy stocks I'm looking to fade. You can also go short the XLE. The XLE, where I would feel comfortable shorting it, is basically above 87.30. Right around this gap fill. It's a little bit of the aggressive zone over here. But I'm looking at XOM because it's not a buyout candidate. It is not really, and it has tons and tons of volume. Super, super liquid. There's a couple other stocks that I'm also looking at. Let me just scroll through here. I made my little note list. AI is another one I'm looking to short. Yet again, up again on the session. AI I think is super extended. You can see AI is basically trying to break out of this upsloping trend line over here. You're into major consolidation over here, breakdown area. This one's a high risk, but I do prefer the energy trades more so. So keep XOM on the radar. Above 114, probably 114.30, 114.50. Makes you wonder if the dollar's going to spike ahead of this energy crisis now. So we're about 3 minutes and 12 seconds to the open. Microsoft's under pressure, falling to $2 from the highs of Friday. Natural gas is trying to get a boost, but it did gap lower. Sorry, I'm still under the weather, so my voice is a little nasally as I'm not 100% yet. So I will be off the camera at times and off the mic, but I will be here to call out levels if need be. So get ready, we have about a minute 30 to the open. I'm just going to switch all my charts to the regular trading hours. McDonald's obviously announced that big layoff. Alright, markets are set to open. Meta's down, Microsoft's down, Nike's down, Nvidia's down 1%. Airline stocks are getting hit. Alright, markets are about to open here, so XOM is on my radar, and RIG, R-I-G, for some shorts. Alright, markets are open. Spiders are gapping lower. XOM's pushing up. Spiders are trying to catch an initial little bid. Russell's up, so that's good for the breadth of the market. But obviously tech is down. Tesla's down 3.5. XOM's pushing up. Spiders are just really just hovering here. Let me just go to a smaller time frame. INDO. That one's up substantially. Spiders are pushing up. Apple's pushing up to the highs. Semis are still under pressure this morning, although Nvidia is trying to push up. XOM's tagging that first resistance. That's not the level though. I want it higher, personally speaking, because oil is catching a bounce now. Healthcare was seeing some money rotation into it. Nvidia is almost positive. So it's pretty quiet as of right now. The gap up is very difficult to trade. It takes a lot of the volatility, the initial volatility out. And it's the market makers who want people to chase. China stocks are under pressure this morning. Banks have caught a big bid. So XOM's pushing up. It's now into that 114 short zone. Let's see if we can get a little bit more. Let's see if we can get a little bit more. So I am getting semi-interested. I'll let you know if I take the trade. It'll be a 1-6 position. Spiders are pushing up. They just filled its gap, so they're trying to go positive here. Nvidia is just going positive. Amazon's still negative. Apple's pushing up, new high of day. So you're clearly seeing more money flowing into this market, chasing things higher. Alright, I'm grabbing some XOM short here. I just got filled, let me just see here. 114.43. 114.43. Short XOM. Just a 1/6 position. Next ad level will be around this 115 Pierce. We are pushing up again. So I will add it a Pierce of this 115. Spiders are continuing to push up. Alright, I'm adding to my XOM here. I'll let you know if I got filled. Let me just double check here. 115.12, 115.12. Spiders are at the highs, pushing up. Just give me a second here to check my average. 114.76. So we're going to look for about 50 cents to $1 on XOM. Spiders just made a new high. Next ad level on XOM would be around 115.70. 115.70. You're likely seeing new money flow coming into the market, which hence is why Apple's getting bought up tremendously. Spiders new high. Apple's still at the highs. Tesla's lagging. Markets are definitely in rally mode. So semis are lagging today, except for Nvidia. Nvidia has pushed back up. And the spiders are definitely seeing that new money flow at the beginning of the quarter and the month. But again, these stocks are so extended. Incredibly extended. You haven't had really any consolidation. Maybe the spiders want to push for this gap fill. Who knows? If it were to push there, I would continue to look to short it. XOM is just hovering off of our level. Definitely seeing continued strength. But if the spiders see some weakness, we should see XOM and energy see some weakness. Let's take a look at the XLE. So that put in a little 5-minute distribution doji. Spiders, first little bit of a red candle. Oil's still up substantially. So the dollar's coming down. Tesla's still down 3.6, so that's really not seeing any buying pressure coming in, despite the markets holding up well. Obviously it can change, but as of now, Tesla's definitely showing relative weakness. The long level for Tesla would be around 195. We do have 10 a.m. 9:45 data and 10 a.m. data coming out. So that could either spike yields, drop yields, spike the dollar, drop the dollar. So be ready for that. And the next ad level on XOM is this 115.70, 115.70 Pierce. XOM starting to push back up. Russell's seeing a little bit of sell side pressure. So is the S&P. Apple's pulling off the highs. XOM is starting to creep back up. You're seeing BX, Blackstone Group, one of the big commercial real estate REITs, under a lot of pressure. There's a lot of rumors that, well, actually not rumors, it's fact that they couldn't meet the withdrawal amount. Investors wanted to withdraw about 4.6 billion, and basically they were only able to satisfy, I think, 15% of that, roughly 300 million. So it just shows you they're in for a whole host of liquidity issues. So it's good to see that our short trade is working out there. But right now the spiders are still acting well. It's going to be difficult for these markets to roll over if the spiders remain strong. XOM is acting very well here. Nvidia is pushing for the highs. And again, historically speaking, if you look at when OPEC cuts oil production, it's never for good reasons. It usually is indicative of a global recession. XOM is pushing up, so get ready to add to that next level. Wow, look at Boeing. Boeing stock looks like an interesting short as well into this double top gap fill area. Let me pull up the Boeing chart in a second. If Boeing gets above 218.55 today, I will look to short it. Spiders are still near the highs. Russell Qs are still acting well. Oil's still trying to push up. Qs still haven't taken out the highs like the S&P. Dollar's coming down. It's pushing gold up. So there should be some ISM data that just came out, but the big 10 a.m. manufacturing PMI, that's the big one. And we saw China come in with a big miss on their manufacturing PMI last night. So will that be foreshadowing a miss for the US manufacturing PMI? Two different economies, but it'll be interesting to see what transpires there. This. So the US manufacturing PMI missed by 0.1. Consensus was 49.3. It came in at 49.2. So that's actually lowered the dollar. Gave oil a small little boost. Spiders are pushing up again. New bull market. Or an exit liquidity pump. Bitcoin's catching a big bid. Spiders making a new high. Nvidia still hasn't made a high. So spiders are still pushing. After gapping down negative, the spiders are now up 0.26%. Semis are still lagging, the likes of AMD. Nvidia is holding up relatively well. Let's take a look at Intel. Intel's actually remaining positive, so it's very interesting to see these divergences. MU, Micron, whoops, MU. Micron's down 3%. So we're about 15 cents away from adding to XOM, so get ready here. 115.70 I'll add. Spiders are still pushing up. Alright guys, I just added to my XOM short here at 115.70. 115.70. So spiders are now seeing some sell side pressure. So basically my average now 115.13, 115.13 on XOM. That was a good little add, and it filled that gap. Dollar's falling sharply here as well. Apple's at 165, still pushing up tremendously here. Alright, XOM's coming in nicely here. So we have that 10 a.m. ISM manufacturing PMI data. That's going to be market moving. Tesla new low of day. AMD new low of day. Apple high of day. Yields are falling sharply here. Oil's continuing to push up. So XOM's making another new high here, push along with the spiders. You're still seeing weakness in the semis. The next add level on XOM, let me just isolate it down here. $116.53. 116.50. Let's put that level there. So we have a 3-6 position. Spiders are still at the highs of the day. Definitely seeing new money coming into the market. AMD's at the low. Nvidia and the Qs have not taken out the highs despite the spiders rallying. So what that's showing is that the rally is all in energy and all in banks. And if you look at the banks, KRE, that's up. You know, JP Morgan. Let's take a look at JPM. That's having a powerful surge. Take a look at Bank of America, power surge. Citi, power surge. So all the money is flowing. Looks to be out of some of the spec names like Tesla and tech and back into some of the financials. Interesting. Very, very interesting. XOM continues to push up here. Apple's down now. Tesla's down 4.44%. XOM's now coming in a little bit sharper here. Spiders are seeing its first little sell side pressure. And again, this market is parabolic. It's gone extended from basically last week. Gap up, gap up, gap up. It's super, super rare to see that many gap ups in a row without any meaningful consolidation. Nvidia just took a big dump. Nvidia took a big dump. So is AMD. And Tesla. So the big levels. And you know, Tesla actually has a long trade. If it can flush down to 195, 193, I would look for Tesla long. So basically the level I'm eyeing up, there's kind of two levels here. First one's there, aggressive, conservative. So anywhere in this range. Spiders are seeing some distribution. XOM still holding out. Let's take a look at the oil market, because that's obviously is why these energy stocks are gapping up. It's also acting very resilient. But the question is now, are we making a double top intraday on oil? If we do, and you can't get out, then you're going to come test this lower boundary range here on oil, which would give us enough of a pullback in XOM. But we're going to need the market to also roll over just slightly. And take a look at Nvidia. So again, now Nvidia is playing some catch up after that big initial surge. Now you're starting to see it come down, really matching the rest of the semis. AMD exceptionally weak. Let's take a look at the SMH, down 0.73%. Spiders are coming in a little bit more now, but XOM is still remaining very strong. Very, very strong. The Qs are clearly weak. Notice how the Qs never filled its gap to the upside, but the spiders did. So that's a little interesting to showing that the rotation of capital is clearly happening, or move away from tech, at least for today. But when you look at Apple, that stock is holding up. It's not really going down. Spiders are also seeing some distribution. Russell's almost has an hourly topping tail on the Russell. The VIX UVXY is starting to catch a bid. Spiders are coming in a little bit sharper now. A little bit sharper. Still positive though. Whereas the Qs, I believe, are negative. Yep, Qs are down 0.5 percentage point. The Russell's still up 0.38. But with tech being dragged down, it's the heaviest weighted market cap, so it should drag this market lower. XOM still acting very well. Take a look at the semi-weakness. AMD just getting slaughtered here. We have the PMI out now. So initially that spiked the spiders. Now the selling came back in. The dollar's seeing some weakness off of that number. The PMI data that came out was a miss. Consensus 47.5, actual 46.3. So ISM manufacturing data is weakening. Perhaps we are going to have a recession. Perhaps we are not going to have a soft landing. XOM still pushing up. Natural gas is softening up, oil still remaining strong. Apple's at the high of the day. Tesla's still fading. Go figure, McDonald's announcing big layoffs, closures of corporate stores, or temporary closures, and the stock is up. 2-year yield has fallen sharply here. It's actually fallen quite sharply. And tech hasn't responded well yet to that. I mean, there's pockets like Apple, but XOM is seeing a little bit of distribution here. Dollar is falling sharply as well. Spiders are trying to push back up. Spiders new high. China stocks are still under a little bit of pressure. Nvidia is trying to push up. The volatility is also trying to creep up. Spiders are still acting very, very strong here. little bit of distribution coming in. So this volume is starting to uptick in XOM here. Definitely some distribution occurring at those highs. So XOM's starting to come in now. Tesla's testing the lows. XOM may have a 10-minute doji candle. We'll see. Take a look at the spiders. They're peeling down now. So we have a potential 10-minute topping tail on the spiders. Let's take a look at the Qs. Qs are coming down. XLE is still remaining strong, but let me just show you what we're into on the XLE here. So you're into this pivot point. It could be a little bit more upside because we haven't filled this gap officially. So that's obviously the big level. So perhaps there might be a little bit more upside. But again, even this is a good accumulation zone. Too short the energy sector. Anyone that does historical analysis knows that price cuts often are being proactive due to a recession. So yes, they could be pumping it up now, but it typically doesn't last long. Spiders are seeing some distribution. Nat gas is still negative. Oil's pushing up, which is why the energy stocks are catching a boost. Tesla new low of day. So the volume is starting to lighten up here in the markets as the spiders push up. Pretty slow day here with the volume very thin right now. Looking like the spiders are trying to trend along the intraday 7 moving average. But the spiders are kind of just still floating. Could be similar to what we saw here. But the markets are definitely extended. XOM is starting to come in a little bit more now. Alright, XOM is coming in nicely now. We also have a 2:30 Biden speech. Biden's speech at 2:30, so if the light volume persists, most likely the markets will either just stay neutral or grind higher. Natural gas is coming in sharp here. Oil's taking a little bit of a breather to the downside. So this could be a little failed breakout double top on oil. Still too early to tell, but with a big reversal like that, you should come back down to this $80 level. Alright, so Tesla looks interesting here, guys. Aggressive first gap, more conservative the second gap, extra conservative around 192.75. So Qs are really lagging today. And you see how the markets work? It's almost like the selling now and the Qs is being disguised by the strength and energy and the rest of the market, banks. So yeah, Tesla is getting a little bit of a bid right before that first gap, so it's now the risk is a little bit greater since you did get a bounce before that area. Oil's starting to come in a little bit sharper now. So it's looking like a failed double top. Still tons of strength though in oil. Spiders are pushing up. IWM is at the highs of the session. Nvidia is trying to push up as well. So tech is starting to see some money flow. The volume, the light volume is probably helping that aspect. China stocks are still under pressure. Spiders are at the highs of the session. The volume is super light. XOM's coming in a little bit sharper now. Nat gas is falling, oil's falling. So all the yields are down today, long end, short end, which is why stocks are liking this environment. The lowering of yields lowers the cost of capital. The lowering, and it also helps that the volume is still light today. Nvidia, new high of day. Look at this move on Boeing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 daily green candles in a row. It's not that extended. I'd like double top short on Boeing. So that's the trend line I'm watching now in the spiders. Shows that we may have a little bit more upside. And there's also this down sloping one, which you can see we're actually above it right now. Tons and tons of resistance here though. Looks like this could be a potential trend day to the upside again. But it's really the risk in buying up here with no consolidation. Absolutely no consolidation on the daily chart is very, very risky, because that's what chasing the market means. You're basically chasing now what's coming up on a 4-week rally without any meaningful consolidation. Alright, so it's looking pretty quiet here. Dollars at the lows, spiders are at the highs. Really the volume is exceptionally light. In terms of XOM, that's really the only trade we're in right now. I would add at 116.50 and then basically a dollar after that, 117.50. And again, I'm comfortable holding this one as a swing trade if I have to, if it doesn't come in, which could be a possibility. The volume is extremely light today. So again, I am comfortable holding this one overnight. Full disclosure, I am swing trading short it. But markets continue to catch a bid higher in this light volume environment. First of the month, money flow continuing to replicate Q1 gains, but we'll see. We will see how the markets close today. On that note, I'm going to call the stream to an end just because it is getting pretty quiet in the markets and it's looking like things are just trending to the upside on this light volume. So on that note, I've given you the parameters. I'm still looking for about 50 cents in XOM. But again, full disclosure, it's probably going to drop more. I am swing shorting this one with my members, TC members, so full disclosure. On that note, I'm going to bid you farewell. Again, markets seem to just want to be grinding and floating up. Keep an eye on that 2:30 press conference by Biden, and we'll see you on the charts tomorrow.